Join me today as I take on the challenge of getting run fit, even though I'm absolutely terrible at running. Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today I want to talk about my personal journey with running. I've never been a great runner, to be honest, and I've always found it quite challenging to make improvements in it. My run times tend to be similar whether I've swam and biked beforehand or whether I'm out just doing a 5 or 10k race. When I was doing 70.3 training, nearly all of my running was easy pace stuff, 9-minute run, 1-minute walk, with just the odd little bit of faster work in there. The focus was on volume without getting injured, and that was enough to get me the times that I wanted to come race day. But swapping back down to short course running again, it's been a real challenge for me, getting my top end speed back. I've been trying to chase sort of sub 8-minute miles in races and it's just been elusive. I've never been one for doing run intervals, so I've kind of found it quite hard to kind of structure my training to get that top end speed. And it's the first time that I've ever actually gone, am I just getting old and I'm not going to get that top end speed back? I think there's a common belief out there that if you just run hard 5Ks in training, you'll get faster. To some extent that's true when you're a beginner, but when you've running for a while, it gets to a point that that stops helping you. And what you need to be doing is putting in intervals faster than your race pace to get the gains. I do struggle a bit trying to figure out what interval pace to run at. I've got lots of friends that train by heart rate, but I get really frustrated doing that because even if I'm doing like a really easy 11-minute mile run, my heart rate's over 160. I can literally hold 160 for 2 hours. During my half Ironman run, my heart rate average is over 160 for the 2 hours with it. I did once test what speed I had to run at to keep my heart rate below 120 is what most people class as like an easy run or recovery sessions. And to keep my heart rate under 120, I had to run at 14-minute miles. I'm all up for doing some slower miles, but that was just taking the mickey slightly and I didn't feel that that was going to work for me. So I've got to find another way of doing it. The more I think about it, the more I realise that one size training doesn't fit all and I've got to do something different to what most of my club mates are doing. My race distance this year for the run is 5 kilometres, so I need to know where I am now and how much I need to improve by. So today I'm going to do a 5 kilometre all-out effort on the treadmill. I'm going to take that back to my coach to figure out what pace I need to be doing my run intervals at. I'm also going to invest in some professional lactate threshold testing so I can really see what's going on with my body, at what point it's producing lactate and what pace I need to be running at for my intervals and what my body can physically sustain. That's enough procrastinating, let's crack on, give this 5k run a test. I was going to do it outside but it's piddling it down with rain, so I'm going to hide on the treadmill, which is probably a good idea because then I can repeat it on the treadmill and it's really like for like with it. It's going to be awful, I'm going to try not to puke up, but this is going to add to my bike FTP tests and my critical swim speed test that I've done earlier in the week, and then we're going to have a full set of baseline testing to see where we're going now into the next training block. 7.3 miles an hour dialed in. Let's get going, see how long we can hold this for, see where we can push it higher. Gonna have to speed that up a bit. First mile in 8:15, not fast enough. That wasn't much better. Second mile in 8:13. I'm struggling. This is ambitious. Nearly fell off the treadmill then. Not quite what I wanted. 5k, 25:20. I think that probably works out at, I don't know what, 8-12-minute miles. I've got to just take that answer after one block of training. Oh, it's going to be a long winter. I was actually a bit sick in my mouth then. I wasn't very nice. That concludes my week of fitness testing. So I've got baseline results now for all three. For my swimming, it puts my critical swim speed at 202 per 100. My FTP on the bike is 154. My 5 kilometre time is 25:20, which works out at 8 10-minute miles. I do genuinely think that that is probably where I finished the end of the racing season, to be honest. So to be pretty much where I was, so I've not lost anything in that sort of off-season period where I've sort of taken it steady, been a bit less structured over autumn with it. So at the end of my first 6 weeks training block, to be where I was at the end of the racing season, I've got to be relatively okay with that. Particularly from a run point of view, if I think back to this time last year when I just finished running 70.3s, I think my 5k time at that point, I was probably running 9-minute miles. So to be at 8:10, almost a minute a mile faster, with a whole winter season training ahead of me, then hopefully that should stand me in good stead to try and get under 8-minute miles come April, May time. But we will see. I'm going to sit down over the next couple of days and work out what my next 6 weeks training block is going to look like. I'm going to enlist the help of Coach Hannah and Coach Lewis. We have got our Tri Club Christmas meal tomorrow night, so I'm going to pick their brains and write some notes down with it. I am off bouldering tonight. I've not been bouldering for about 10 years. I've done a bit of clip and climb stuff with Amelia, but my old boss Helena and my good friend Amy, we're having a bit of a Christmas get together, so the three of us are going to go to the bouldering wall, and then Helena is bribing us with tea back at her house afterwards. I'm not going to be able to do anything upper limb tomorrow, so that's going to be my weight session. So I think I'm probably going to be pretty sore tomorrow after doing a speed test on the treadmill and then climbing for an hour or two. That is me done for this episode. Thank you very much for watching, and if you haven't already, please like and subscribe and join me next time, and I will go through what my next 6 weeks training plan is going to look like.